everyone, my name's Allie and welcome back to my channel, Mindful Living. So I asked you guys in the community tab what you wanted to see next on my channel. I love asking your guys' opinions, so make sure to check out my community tab in the future for more polls. Most of the votes were for my basil. You guys wanted to see how it grew, a harvest, along with my take on an easy pesto recipe. This is a lighter take on pesto in my opinion and one of my favorite ways to make it, so let's go ahead and get started with the video. So I started growing my basil from seed in about March, and it wasn't long before I was putting it outside once the temperature was right, and it grew really fast, really quick. I do have 3 plants in this one container. Basil loves hot temperatures, it really does love full sun, and it loves to be fertilized regularly, so I use an organic fertilizer on my plants this year, and it really helps to keep them really lush and green. These basil leaves have gotten so big, and I am so excited to make my homemade pesto for the first time this season. Definitely need to do a harvest of these really large leaves so that my plant will keep growing and keep producing throughout the summer. So I've just brought my container inside my kitchen here, and I'm going to show you guys how I harvest my leaves. This is the cut and come again method, where you harvest the outer bigger leaves and you leave the new growth in the middle of the plant, and that's so it keeps producing. You want to make sure you're not taking the little leaves, but the really big ones obviously. And I just use my kitchen scissors to do this, really simple and fast. I'm going to make a fairly large batch of pesto today and store it in my fridge, so I just want to get all the big leaves. Just showing you there how big one of the leaves are, almost the size of my palm. I think this is actually the best basil plant I have grown. It's so green, it really is high producing for me, and the leaves are so tender and taste so flavorful. I've never had my basil leaves grow quite so big. So just giving you guys a close-up of the harvest here and showing you there's lots of tiny little leaves growing that I'm gonna leave on the plant so they will grow bigger, of course. And there's lots of new growth happening, so taking away these big leaves is not going to hurt the plant in any way. It will actually help it to keep producing and keep putting out more leaves, which is exactly what you want. So just showing you my harvest here. It is a lot of basil, and I'm going to use all of it today to make my homemade pesto. Go ahead and wash your leaves. This is grown organically, but I still like to give my leaves a nice wash before I cook with them. And then from there, I have just used a salad spinner to get all the water off after. Just showing you guys the ingredients. You're going to need extra virgin olive oil, basil, lemon, garlic, pine nuts, and Parmesan cheese. I'm using a food processor today, so go ahead and start packing your food processor with all of the leaves. I am going to be using all of this basil. You really want to pack it down. Like I said, I want to make a big batch and store it in a container in my fridge for all kinds of delicious meals. From there, I am adding a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, 2 cloves of garlic. You can put more garlic, or you can take away a clove if you don't like a strong garlic flavor. From there, I am using this type of cheese today. You can also use a traditional Parmesan. This is freshly grated from my local grocery store. And I'm going to be putting a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. A lot of recipes use at least a 1/4 to a full cup of Parmesan, but I don't think you need that much. There's so much flavor from the basil and the garlic, so I like to lighten up a little bit on my Parmesan here. And there, I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Again, most recipes call for a 1/2 cup or more, but I'm going to be using lemon juice in my recipe, so I like to have a little bit less oil. And next up is the juice of 1/2 lemon. I like to put fresh lemon juice into my pesto. I find it gives it lots of fresh flavor. And trust me, if you have never tried this way before, you need to. I love my pesto, lemony, garlicky. I love the flavor combination here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that all together. I always like to salt and pepper my pesto to taste, so I do that after I have blended everything together because it is a personal preference. Give it one last mix, and you're done. That's your simple and easy, healthy version of pesto. This can last in your fridge for up to a week in a sealed container, but trust me, it always gets eaten before that. I've actually am just reusing an old jar we had from a store-bought version, and I'm going to put that into my fridge. Pesto is great to use in all kinds of dishes. I love making pesto pasta, pesto chicken, pesto shrimp. You can add it to your salad in replace of the dressing. You can add it to pasta salads. You can really add it into anything. It's great even spread on a sandwich or a burger for some extra flavor. To me, pesto is one of my favorite things to enjoy in the summer, and I look forward to growing basil in my garden every year. I hope if you guys enjoyed this recipe and harvest video today, you will leave me a like, leave me a comment down below, let me know if you're going to try out the recipe or what your favorite way to make pesto is, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next one.